Let's talk about a mystery. You know why some apps and websites just click? They feel so easy, but then you use others for something that should be simple and you just want to throw your phone across the room. Well, it's not magic, and it has nothing to do with how smart you are. It's all about an unseen force that's guiding your every move.
Oh, we have all been there, right? You're trying to do something basic, book a flight, pay a bill, and the app just refuses to cooperate. It doesn't behave the way you think it should. You tap a button and something totally unexpected happens. It's this super common, super frustrating feeling that the technology is actively fighting you.
But here's the thing. Most of the time, the app isn't actually broken. From a technical standpoint, it's doing exactly what the engineers told it to do. So the real problem isn't a failure of logic, it's a failure to meet your expectations. And that's exactly what we're going to get into today.
That feeling, that sense of disconnect, there's a word for it: friction. It's that jarring moment of confusion when a product just doesn't match your intuition. It's the gap between what you thought was going to happen and what actually did.
So, what is this unseen force that's running the show behind the scenes? Well, it's something called a mental model. This is kind of the secret language of great design. And I promise, once you get it, you're going to start seeing it absolutely everywhere.
So a mental model is really just a story you have in your head about how something is supposed to work. It's not something you learned by reading a user manual. It's something you've built up over a lifetime of experiences with other similar things.
And this part is really important. You don't need to know how an engine works to expect that when you press the gas pedal, the car goes faster. Mental models are all about gut feelings, intuition, and those familiar patterns you've learned over time. It has nothing to do with technical expertise.
Okay, let's make this super simple with a quick test. Just picture a light switch. In most places, you have this built-in expectation. You flip it up, the light turns on. When that happens, everything feels right in the world. But what about when it's wired backwards? You flip it up, and nothing happens. You feel that split second of confusion, right?
Now here's the key. The light switch still works perfectly fine. The system isn't broken. But because it violated your expectation, it created this tiny moment of mental friction. That little, wait, what feeling? That is a mental model failure in its purest form. So, a lot of this friction happens because the people who build things often think in a totally different way than the people who use them. And really, great design is all about bridging that gap.
You see, on one side, you've got the creators, the designers, the engineers. They're focused on how the system actually works, its internal logic, making sure it's technically correct. But on the other side is you, the user. And honestly, you only care about what you expect to happen based on everything else you've ever used. Great design is the translator between these two worlds.
So how does this whole concept play out in the digital world? Well, once you start looking for these mental models, you'll see them shaping the design of pretty much every app on your phone.
Take a look at this icon. We all know what this means. It means save. But have you ever really stopped and asked yourself, why? Why does this thing mean save?
Because here's the wild part. A huge number of people using computers today have never even seen a real floppy disk. I mean, think about it. For them, the icon has zero connection to a real-world object, and yet the mental model is so strong that everybody just gets it.
So how does it work? Well, it's a shared assumption. It's something we've all learned through decades of seeing it over and over again in countless different programs. The idea, the mental model, has actually become more powerful than the object it was supposed to represent. That's the power of a consistent pattern.
All right, here's another huge one, the back button. Doesn't matter if it's in your web browser or on an app, you have a very strong and specific expectation for what that button is supposed to do.
You expect it to do one thing, take you back one single step. That's it. You absolutely do not expect it to kick you out of the entire app. And you definitely don't expect it to delete something you just spent 5 minutes typing. When an app breaks this simple rule, it doesn't just create friction, it creates genuine anxiety and it breaks trust.
So, if breaking these mental models is so bad, how do great designers avoid it? Well, it's simple in theory. They focus everything on aligning their product with what people already expect. This quote right here, this is maybe the single most important idea in this entire explainer. It's not about whether your app is technically correct. The only question that matters is it predictable? Does it behave the way your user thinks it will?
See, the best designers don't just guess what you want. They have a process. They actually watch how real people use things.
They study the common patterns that already exist out in the world. They fight the urge to be creative just for the sake of it. And most importantly, they test their ideas early and often to see if they actually match up with what people expect.
And that leads to this crucial point. You can't invent a mental model and then force it on people. It doesn't work that way. You have to discover the mental models they already have in their heads, and then you design your product to fit them.
So if you're going to walk away with just one single thing from all of this, let it be this. This is the golden rule of great user experience.
The best designs, they don't make you stop and say, "Wow, that's so clever." The best designs make you feel nothing at all. They just work. They feel obvious. They feel effortless because they perfectly match the mental model you already had. They don't make you think. And that kind of leaves us with one last question for you to think about. What's one obvious design you've already used today? Maybe it was your coffee maker, or the ticket machine for the train, or the app you use to check the weather. Chances are, whatever it was, you just found a perfectly designed experience that respected your mental model. Thanks for tuning in.